Good afternoon, everybody. It is currently January 4th, 2026, and today we're going to be diving into the upcoming weather pattern to see what Mother Weather, if you will, has in store for us. This is the temperature anomaly in Fahrenheit. This is today. We have colder air in the north and eastern United States, especially in the great state of Maine, and mild Pacific air filling the west. So we're talking about Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Utah, Four Corners, Northern Rockies, Southern Rockies. During the Broncos game today, I heard that the temperature in Denver where they were playing was 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which is crazy for January. As we scroll on, you can see this mild Pacific air starting to move eastwards a little more. You can see some leaning below average colder air filling the west a little more. That's our cold air source up top. As you can see as we scroll on, there's a temperature bar down here, by the way. We can see very high temperatures filling the the east. We've got cold temperatures filling the west. You can see even some little dots of purple on the border of Nevada and California. Some colder air in Washington, except for there's a little bit of red right there. That's our cold air source up in, I think that's British Columbia and parts of Alberta. As we scroll on, you can see that cold air source kind of linger a little bit. You can see some warmer air moving through a lot of Canada, and then that dives south with a pocket of cold air that was trapped in that warm air, which would help some snowpack for the east coast. As we scroll on here a little more, that goes out over the Atlantic Ocean. You can see some dots of purple and otherwise cooler air filling most of the west. And there's a little dot of purple here in the Sierra Nevada mountains. As we scroll on, that also pushes off into the Atlantic Ocean. And then, as you can see here, we finish off with, unless you're in the upper Midwest, Montana, South Central Plains, the west and the east are going to be favorable for some cold air, especially in the east here, up in the Great Lakes region. We're talking about Minnesota and Wisconsin, Michigan. You can see tons of cold air, and judging by what I saw, this warm pocket of air could release cold air above it. So that's going to be the next major thing that I'm tracking. Now, what does that mean for snow? Looking at the total snowfall depth in inches, this is into the future. This is January 19th. Could see some snow up in Maine, Northern Rockies, tons of snow in the mountainous west, Cascades, Sierra Nevadas. Now let's look at the extended forecast. This is the 32-day snow in inches. This is on February 19th. You could see there's a snow meter bar down here, by the way. You can see tons of snow in the east, especially in the northeast there. You could see upwards of 20 inches in the entire state of Maine. Plenty of snow for the mountainous west, so we're talking about the Cascade Mountains, we're talking about the Sierra Nevadas, Northern Rockies, especially favorable snow for Telluride and any other ski resorts along the Rockies. Looking at the 46-day snowfall in inches, you can see even more snow for the Rockies, especially Telluride. You might see upwards of 48 inches. Northern Rockies are going to be especially favorable, especially the Cascades, and really every mountain range is going to be some heavy snow coming your way. Sierra Nevada is heavy snow. Northern California, even in the lowlands, upwards of 5 inches, which is decent. Low-lying areas in the Puget Sound, Pacific Northwest, 7 inches. I'm not sure if it's going to be this widespread, but if you're up north past Iowa, or anywhere north of Interstate 80, which basically just divides America down the middle, I would say bet on some heavy snow. So get excited for that. Have a nice winter. Looking at the control, this is actually a little bit different than what we saw this morning. It's showing less snow in the lowlands and mountains overall. Now looking at the upper air temperature, this is the 7-day 850 millibar temperature anomaly in Celsius. As we scroll on, you can see that warm air that we've been talking about and some cold Arctic air. Now this is in Celsius, so let's say there's negative 19 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but feel free to go to Google and look that up. This is 850 millibars, so this is around 3,000 to 5,000 feet up. You can see that kind of lingers and then goes into the east, and then most of the United States gets filled with some more warmer air, and we have a moderate cold shot going through the upper Midwest and South Central plains, and then some more warm air, and that might be something that should be taken into account. This is the 46-day anomaly. You can see this. Back to the European model. Let's look at the 2M temperature anomaly, and let me change that to Fahrenheit. There we go. Okay, this is today, January 4th. As we scroll on, this blue-red stuff is the freezing line, so below 32 degrees or below. So you can see as we scroll on, you can see some colder white temperatures in the Pacific Northwest and even in the lowlands in red. So like that's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And those whites are 30, 35 and below. As we scroll on, those temperatures seem to be pretty consistent, and then they go back and then they suck back in and then they go back out. It's pretty on and off shots of cold, but especially in the Northeast and Cascades and Northern Rockies, get ready for the cold air because it's coming. Temperature anomaly. This is the latest run. Back to here. You can see we've got this decently cold air in the Northeast and mild Pacific air in the West. As we scroll on, you can see that warm, mild Pacific air slowly but surely moving eastwards. And then we have some more, it's not Arctic, but it's cold air filling, let's just say, the Pacific Northwest and parts of Mexico right here. You might see some greens, which is like negative 11 or 11 degrees below normal. And then this is probably going to keep moving eastwards and have colder air fill the west. You can see up here, let's look at the northern hemisphere actually. This is the northern hemisphere, as you can see as we scroll on. This is on January 8th. There's a cold air, our cold air mass is right here in Alaska. It's in Alaska right now. This is our sudden stratospheric warming that we've been talking about. And as we go into, let's go back a little bit, track this cold air in Alaska. I'm watching it. It looks like it is building up and then might move south into the west because that warm ridge in the east is basically what's going to be blocking, the warm ridge in the east is going to be blocking it and possibly pushing it west. But there is still potential for it to fill the east. As you can see, it might build and then it might move south. I don't know what it's doing. This is starting to get into fantasy land, but I'll keep tracking it throughout the days. Looking at precipitation, 48 hour in inches. As you can see, we've got some heavy precipitation in the Pacific Northwest, and the West Coast generally averages very high, so that's not anything out of the ordinary. So that's just about all the weather talk I got for you today. I will do another upload tomorrow morning. So until then, goodbye.